Hello, 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 hello. Arsenal Fan Circle here, Season 2, Episode 18. I've got my co host here, Mahir Abrams, Gunda News. Welcome in, Mahir. Thanks, as always, for joining me. And first time on the show, Glenn Kitely, all the way from Kenya. Welcome, Glenn.
Thank you for having me.
So, a little bit later into the show, we're going to talk about Arteta's first 7 games and what we all think about how he's doing. We're going to get into the Bournemouth FA Cup, and we're going to talk a little bit generally about the FA Cup, and then we're going to have some questions and answers. So I'm excited for the question and answer section. Um, Glenn, just first of all, when we have a new guest on the show, we want to ask
Yeah.
them about your Arsenal life. Tell me how you started supporting Arsenal. What inspired you? Maybe what player inspired you? Was it just the style of play? And tell me a little something about that.
So it wasn't the style of play. It was just a specific player, Thierry Henry, back in 2004, 2005. The way he used to finish his goals, the solid midfield we had of Pires, Ljungberg, the likes of Vieira. I just liked the kit they wore those days, and the coach, I liked Wenger, the way he had said at Arsenal for like 8, 9 years at that time. So uh, it was really enthusiastic to actually support them. So yeah, that's how I started supporting Arsenal.
Yeah. And so I know you have a friend there as well, Ben. Does Ben want to
Uh-huh.
tell us when he started supporting and how he got into Arsenal as well?
I want you to tell them how you started supporting Arsenal.
Yeah, I say for me it's more of the style of play.
Yeah,
Yes, that for me was it, style of play. And to a point where we came to win the league unbeaten with that style of play, he confirmed to me that Arsenal as a team has the right philosophy for football.
and what year was that, Ben?
That was 2000 what?
2001. Yeah, yeah,
2001, yes, 2001. And,
very
and,
good.
and again, of course, the kind of players. And I thought, and it proves to me that the scouts we had then did a good job, to have the kind of players we had. So important that we need to reference back as a team and see where we lost.
Yeah, very good, very good. We always like to hear about Arsenal fans worldwide, and we're starting a little bit earlier because you're coming all the way to us from Kenya, and it is a
Right.
little bit after 8 o'clock in the evening there. So thanks for your time, Glenn and Ben. Thank you.
Thank you.
Glenn, wanted to ask you then, what's your overall thoughts about Arteta? Let's even go back. Okay, I'm gonna say I wasn't expecting Arteta to be hired. I wanted Benitez, but of course I'm behind Arteta now. So tell me a little bit about who you expected Arsenal to hire after Unai Emery, and are you excited about Arteta?
Mm.
I was expecting someone like Allegri from Juventus or Diego Simeone from Atletico Madrid. So the Arteta appointment was a kind of a surprise because no experience, no nothing. Yes, we knew he had played under Guardiola, had managed under Guardiola, yes, but wasn't really convincing. So his first job at Arsenal, that would have been a risk for us. But so far, I can't complain. The style of players changed. No playing from the back. The playing from the back is minimal. We're actually playing attacking football. We actually no shots conceded against us. Under Emery used to concede like 30 shots per game, but now the defense is all right. We've managed to keep I think 2, 3 clean sheets so far. So I'm impressed with how he's playing right now, and the spirit is brought to the team so far.
Over the 7 games, let me bring Mahir in then as well. Mahir, what do you think about Arteta so far after the 7 games?
As we do know, you guys, my personal opinion was getting Allegri, getting Simeone, getting somebody with experience, getting a elite coach, as they call them. And he came in and he started saying the right things, doing the right things, improving our defense. Like Glenn is just saying, we don't concede as many shots on our goal anymore. We were
Right.
conceding something like 30, 40, even 20 minimal versus even the small teams. Not be disrespectful to any of the small teams, but that's just the way it is now. We're conceding less. The team seem to be up for a fight, man. I like, and we improve every single game we play. So from his first game to his second game to his third game, and you can see the players want to play for him. And like, I'm loving the passion and the heart that is shown, because as you do know, what I like saying is give your all, give your blood, sweat, and tears, leave blood on the field in those boots when you leave. You must not be able to walk off comfortably knowing that you didn't give
Yeah.
your all.
Give me Mahir. Give me the high point for the best game for you that we put together for Arsenal.
I think it personally had to be last week when we played Chelsea,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it was 10 men and going down twice and still having the fight in order
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
I mean, even tactic wise, who knew Granit Xhaka at centre back would work for? I mean, even like that, Ozil improving, Mustafi improving. I mean, basically everybody. But there are still some players that we do need to get rid of. Let's be clear about that.
Well, we can get into that a little bit later. Glenn, you can jump in anytime you want into the conversation. But
There's someone,
give me
yeah,
your
yeah.
high points under Arteta. Your high points for you. Was it Chelsea? Was it Man United? Was it Leeds?
Actually, it was the first game against Chelsea, which we ended up losing, yes. But the way we played that game, the way it was like his fourth game, we played that game really, really well. Attacked more. We were unlucky to lose the game. Jorginho should have been sent off, obviously. But the way we played that game, and obviously the Man U game, clinical. We never conceded a goal. Managed to keep a clean sheet. So those are my high points for those games,
Yeah.
those two games.
Shout out to NUFC, all the people in chats. NUFC talk. Stan the man, Tony Turner, who's been turning up the heat burners on hopes in the last week or two, and long may that continue. Richard from Arsenal TV, thanks for coming in, and of course Ryan, Mr. Arsenal podcast. Go check out Richard and Ryan. They have YouTube channels as well. Um, okay, for me, I'm going to say the high point for me was beating Manchester United. I think we put together a really, really good game. We didn't play well in the second half, um, but that first half performance, especially Pepe, I think he kind of announced himself in that game as well. And also, of course, the Chelsea game just gone by. Um, I was interested to see how Arsenal would um, deal with going behind, and not only going behind, we went down one man against Chelsea, so we didn't even get Drew on. We were able to come back in that game against Chelsea.
Yeah, the second leg against Chelsea, obviously, it really showed what the team is about right now. And Arteta, I'm sure under Emre, that game would have ended up losing 2 or 3. And obviously under Wenger, we always lost this game 6 or 8, obviously. So that was also a good game so far. Yeah.
Yeah, my here to go down. All right, let's go into Chelsea real briefly and talk about the incident with Mustafi. We're calling him Colonel Mustard here on this channel because he is always prone to a mistake, right?
Clear, I mean, Mustafi, right? Like, what a waste of 35 million. Can you believe we paid 35 million? I think he's been the defender that has made, along with Granit Xhaka, the most errors in or something, even last season, costing us a place in the Champions League. And once again, yes, we do know he had good intentions. He tried to clear the ball, but made a total muck up of it. And then Leno pulled out because he was going to get a red card if he had made a challenge. And then guess what? David Luiz had to clean up. And I mean, honestly, guys, that wasn't a red card. I didn't even see any contact at all.
Well, Ben here thinks Luis is to blame more than Mustafi for that red card.
Ben, is it? Is that what?
Let's
That's
hear
your,
it,
that's your
Ben.
that's your opinion, though. Like, we want to hear.
You know what? I think who does not know Mustafi? So you expect him to make mistakes, but you don't make it worse by getting your team, one man shot. So for me, where Luis is should be asking himself, what was it? Was he doing it for himself or for the team? This is about
Look,
the team.
I'm sure he had very good intentions. I think his intention was to clear the mess that was made from the Mustafi back pass.
Yeah.
Once it went past Leno, I mean, you're not going to allow. Let's not go into the. We'd rather allow a striker to shoot and score because then we still have one man on. Because even that challenge by David Luiz just now, there's a rule called double jeopardy. Maybe we'll discuss that also sometime. But there is a rule actually regarding that.
Mahir and Ben, Arteta should tell Colonel Mustard he can never pass the ball back to the goalkeeper. He never. Get it into Rosie. Get it into the fans every time. No passing back to the goalkeeper for you, Colonel Mustard.
Just
I hear you.
Yeah, Colonel Mustard must just clear the ball right up front.
The thing is, that I would see where Arteta is. He was shot. We have had all this misfortune about injuries. So the thing is, and look, Mustafi. In fact, I was asking Glenn here, where did it go so wrong for Mustafi after all? Because his first season was quite okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm not hearing it for you. That's your question.
We would love to actually rewind back time to the moment when Mustafi actually became a liability, a calamity, because, yeah, man, it's like weird. Ben, you're 100% right.
He's a calamity.
Stan the man says only a silver bullet to the heart will lift that curse.
Stan the man.
Luis attempted to stop the shot. Yes, he did, Richard. But in the process, he did actually foul the player. So for me, it's a red card, unfortunately. Glenn, what do you do in that situation? Do you do what David Luiz did, or do you let him score?
Oh well, you try and tackle, but for me, I think I let him score because we had 80 minutes to recover from that game, so I think I'd let him score.
Let him score. And Mahir, you can tackle without fouling the guy and get sending it off, right, Mahir?
Yeah, I'm sure you can. But like I said, there's a specific rule. I'm not basing everything on that because, like I said, focus on yourself first, focus on the basics, and get that correct before you go into. Yes, VAR has been very unlucky for us, Glenn. We have lost a lot of points. I think it's something like 12 points.
We have been the worst affected VAR team in the whole league.
And coupled with injuries and red cards and a lot of these stuff, I mean, it leads to disaster. But I believe Arteta is going to get it right, though.
And so far, which has been your favorite player under Arteta so far?
I would say Martinelli, hands down, Martinelli. Because Glenn, when we first bought this guy, I thought to myself, who is this unknown name? Unknown, hasn't played for any big teams, not even a team in his country's league, first league. And he's just blown everything out the water. And with consistency, this guy's about to be a superstar. Who's yours?
Speaking about consistency, Tony Turner is consistently one of the best comments in the comments section. Last podcast, he got comments of the night. Here's another one. Stan the man. My sources say Mustafi was born in the back of a caravan, surrounded by gypsy women. Can't argue with that, but he's got some good stuff winning the World Cup, Glenn. He was a decent player at one point, right?
He was, but he's that kind of player who doesn't even care what fans say about him. He has no feelings at all. Uh-huh.
All right. So let's go to the most recent games then. So
I think he's just frozen up.
Yeah.
Let's just give him a few seconds. But Glenn, I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you, who's your favorite player so far in the
And
Aussie?
Torreira so far because he's back into his position now. He's defending well. The way he's protecting the defense so far, we're not conceding as many goals as we used to under Emery, and even under Jumbak, the few games he was in charge. So Torreira for me, and maybe some people are arguing that Nines has been okay so far. I'm not quite sure.
Me neither. But that's a fantastic shot, Torreira. But that's what happens when you play a player in his natural position. Under that guy, under Good Evening, he wanted him to be playing more like a box-to-box midfielder, like a Ramsey, who we do miss. But you can't mold a defensive mid because into an attacking mid like a box-to-box, somebody like Ramsey. You can get somebody next to Torreira, but you can't do that to him because once we leave ourselves vulnerable to the counter, a quick counter, one ball over the top, and you know already what it is.
yeah. Want to give a shout out to everybody in the comment section. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Tony Turner, Noe Donis, we know Noe. Shout out to you, Glenn, from Noe. Tell me about Martinelli.
Oh, so when Martinelli signed, I thought he was gonna be like in the under 18 team or under 21 team, but it was a surprise to see him in the first team. The same with Guendouzi last season. I thought this was like youngsters that are just coming to play in the under 21 team and get brought to the first team soon or slowly. Sorry. So it was really a surprise, but so far it's been amazing. He's scoring goals. The way he drives us from defense to the attacking position, the way he scores goals, headers, left foot, right foot, the way he had the composure to finish that chance against Chelsea the other day was really amazing.
Yeah, we need players like that who are going to take those chances and not look to pass the ball. We have enough of those players in this team, right?
Like Ozil.
I was thinking Ozil.
Ben doesn't like Ozil.
All right, what's your stance on Ozil, Ben?
Ozil should leave the team. Ozil is not giving much to this team. Ozil has just, with a new coach, he's trying to look like he wants to get back to the fans. But in real sense, Ozil is actually the weak point in Arsenal midfield.
A weak link, yeah.
He's the weak link. We need a powerful number 10.
Yeah.
That will change Arsenal into a monster.
Or a strong midfielder like a Decore from Watford.
Exactly. Otherwise, Arsenal will not see top 4 anywhere in the future if we continue depending on Ozil.
Yeah.
Ozil's sell-by date is over.
Now,
we can only say thank you.
Let's flip it to Martinelli, Ben. What do you think of Martinelli?
So Martinelli is a fresh breath of air in Arsenal. He's a surprise. He's a future. I mean, with Martinelli, we have the luxury to sell Aubameyang and still have an attacking, an attacking posture that is still respectable. Okay? So I think without getting too excited, he's a player that we need to nurture and get the best out of him. So I'm good with Martinelli.
And also, Ben, we need to build a team around him, bring in some more players that can show the kid that we're going to be competitive and we're going to look to win things while he's still at the club and not have a Real Madrid, a Bayern Munich, a Juventus come and snatch him from under our noses.
Correct. Very correct. Arsenal as an establishment has had that weakness
Yes,
of ending up losing their best players.
losing exactly. Yeah, and
We,
he's one of
we
those
must
players we want to keep.
exactly.
Now, in
But we
terms
must
of
do a good but we
in
must do
terms
a
of
good job in getting other players around him
yeah,
to make him even better.
in terms of Aubameyang, what would you do with him? Like not in January, but maybe in summertime. Look at if he wants to go, he can go.
I will let him go. I will let him go. In any case, uh, Arsenal is still in the building stage. He
Yeah,
wants to finish his career on a high.
yeah.
Capitalize on the money, let him go, but ensure that the likes of Martinelli have good players around them so that we don't blunt our attack.
Would you do something, Ben, in the next 5 days if Aubameyang wants to go?
Yes, I would let him go.
Okay, Glenn, what
Yes.
would you think of that?
No, I wouldn't sell Aubameyang right now. I'd give
Yeah.
him until the summer because I think right now we really need him. If you're trying to qualify for the Europa League or try to build, yes, you're not going to build around him, yes, but I think he can help players like Martinelli develop.
For a few more months at least, I would keep him till the summertime.
Yeah, and do you guys think Martinelli can end up as a center forward
Yes.
Yes.
Matt here?
replace Aubameyang?
Yeah, I think absolutely can do that.
Yes.
You're muted, Matt here. Did I do that?
No, sorry. If he keeps his levels up, I absolutely believe he can do a fantastic job for us. Because Aubameyang himself said he's on his way to becoming a superstar. And let's not overhype it too much, put too much pressure on the kid. Let him just develop naturally on his own. Because it doesn't look like he's got any fear in him. I love that he can go to Chelsea, City,
Exactly.
Liverpool,
Mhm.
wherever, and just not be afraid of his opposition. There's players that are too comfortable in their own skins and their own positions that
Uh-huh.
fail us every week. And this kid just shows something else.
Yeah, what I like about you, exactly what you said, Matt here. He's got no fear. You go to a big stadium, you know if he would go to the new camp and play at, God forbid, we're going to play Barcelona or Real Madrid in the near future, he would not have a fear about that kind of stage land.
Uh-huh.
He's a stone cold killer. Did you see the way Pepe was there to be passed to, but he took that shot on himself?
And he
I
actually
thought that was
finished it.
fantastic to have that composure. Glenn, how was that composure under pressure?
That was like Henry back in the days.
Oh, most definitely.
We got a little bit of luck with N'Golo Kante taking that dive for us. Do you think he tried? Do you think he tried to grab Martinelli and take him down?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a second thought about it. It could have been a red card too, and it could have put him
Yeah.
back under pressure.
Do you think a referee would give a red card from the halfway line like that?
I think he would because he was like the last player.
Yeah. There was a couple of players to his side, but they were never catching Martinelli as fast as he was going.
They were never catching him. Yes.
All right, so into the comments. Stan the Man says Martinelli should be given the number 7 shirt. I agree with that next season.
Uh-huh.
Anything 60 million or more, I would sell Alba this window. We probably want a little bit more than 60. What do you think?
People would offer 60.
Yes.
They're looking at about 70. They're looking to offer us about 70, Barcelona.
For 70 million, I would sell him. For his age, I'd sell him definitely.
Okay. Strikers are scoring in their 30s as well. He's not slowing down. Matt here, where is he on in the charts compared to Mane and Salah?
Mane and Salah.
Anyone know that? Is he on
Nah.
course for the Golden Boot again?
Number 4. He might be number 4, number 5 behind
Okay.
Jamie Vardy. I think Jamie Vardy's there as
Oh,
well.
Vardy scores every game, right?
Yeah.
Stan the Man, it's handy that Gabby can play anywhere across the front. And we'll get to, we have a question and answer session a little bit later, so we don't want to tip our hat too much. But yeah, we'll get into that, Stan. Martinelli up front, as sure as I've got a hole in my arse. Absolutely, Troy Jarvis. Martinelli knew that Pepe would have hit it.
Everyone.
What's that?
He's definitely impressed everyone, Martinelli.
Yeah. So Martinelli knew that Pepe would not have hit the net, but rather hit row Z. What do you think,
Even
Glenn?
Pepe.
A little bit
Even
harsh.
Pepe.
A little bit harsh, Dad.
Yeah, harsh.
But definitely, if you're gonna bet on Pepe or Martinelli to finish that chance, we would rather have Martinelli take that shot.
Yeah, but I saw Pepe's highlights last season, and he scored a lot of one-on-ones.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, Arteta can get some players in midfield that's going to speed up the interplay in midfield, because that's what Pepe really needs. Our play right now, Glenn, is too slow.
So we're talking about central midfielders.
Yeah, giving Pepe a quicker ball.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So we can use his pace to our advantage.
Uh-huh. I thought we had Willock, but we were just having an argument with Ben. He says Willock is not good enough for Arsenal.
I had high hopes for Willock, I have to admit, but I've sort of seen that he's not in the team and he's not producing. He's a young player who's inconsistent. So Ben, on his best day, I think Willock is a good player, but not consistent enough for Arsenal.
Yeah, he seems to lose focus. He's when in very critical situations, he becomes too naive. He looks too naive. So he's yet to develop. He's far from it. He's far from it. Not to write him off.
Yeah, he doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't look comfortable, and he's not sure of himself.
Yeah.
So it shows, and when you look at Willock was ahead of Saka. Saka has come and surpassed him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it is a problem within himself, which is very difficult to resolve.
It's difficult, Ben, because when you get a young player just breaking into the team, he's looking around that dressing room and he's seeing stars, and he's maybe starstruck even with his own teammates. He's probably thinking to himself, "I don't really belong here. It's just too much for me." You get a Martinelli, and he's like, "This is where I need to be. This is my stage now." That's the difference.
Martinelli has embraced whatever there is to embrace, and he's on a high trajectory. It'll be difficult to stop Martinelli anywhere.
Yeah, what I've seen, Ben, is tough old fullbacks using physicality on him and taking him out and fouling him early and trying to get him out of the game that way. With Martinelli,
He will survive. Yeah. When you look at his profile, the way he was training in Brazil, the way he was training for playing in Europe. So he's ready for it.
Yeah.
He
also we were speaking about Manchester United finding their level with Tranmere just before we came on. So Manchester United can win games, right? Well, I come to this point then and having a laugh at Manchester United as well. It's always a good thing, right? But my point is that Martinelli did trial with Manchester United, and we've got him.
Oh yes, and I'm liking. I was telling Glenn that I'm liking Edu's influence in the team right now.
Yes.
So I mean, so far he's not disappointed. Hopefully, he gets us more of the likes of Martinelli.
Yeah. Well, Tony Turner will know. We're waiting for Hopes to come in, and he just needs a little bit of foreplay, Tony. So he'll get there in the end. I don't know if you saw the last I don't know if you saw the last podcast. You got to check out the last podcast. It was around the 1 hour and 20 minutes, Glenn. Check it out.
Okay.
Hopes needs us to warm things up for him a little bit.
And about the strength stuff about Martinelli, what do you guys think about Saka? I was just telling Ben here.
Yeah.
I don't think Saka has strength, but he told me as long as he has the skill.
Yeah, look.
What do you guys think?
Saka, you go first, Mahir.
Look, you can either be one of two things. You can be technically gifted, or you can have a lot of pace on you. So where you don't have one, you've always got the other to lean on. And it becomes almost a main trait of like certain players where you say, oh no, he might not be fast enough, but he's so gifted because he knows his positional play is great, and he knows where to play a pass or when to play that pass.
Yeah, and like we were saying, we were talking about the young players now. So Saka, I believe, has actually benefited Glenn and Ben from playing left back. He doesn't have to have the trickiness of trying to be a winger, trying to create something, although he is doing that for us. We saw what he did for Sheffield United game. Amazing cross for Martinelli to bundle in. And make no mistake, Sheffield United are a very, very good team. But Saka is playing really, really well as a left back. Possibility he could be a left back in the future. Dare I say it, Glenn?
But what if when he comes up against us likes of Salah or Mahrez, good wingers?
Mm-hmm.
How is his defensive part of the game?
Who has he come up against in the 7 games, Mahir? Willian?
Let's see.
You got a
I
little
think
bit caught out for that second goal that you talk about, the Chelsea game, Glenn, with Willian there.
Yeah, Tammy was there as well. No? Tammy was there to round off the first one though also.
Yeah. But we're talking about direct opponents for Saka. Yes, the
direct.
Sheffield United right winger, the Chelsea right winger, all of these players. I think he's acquitted himself quite well. I could not look at him and say he was at fault for any of the recent goals that we conceded. So saying that is enough for me to think that Saka is a real talent.
So you don't think we actually need a left back?
No, we don't need a left back. And anyone who's been talking about Kurzawa, for me, it's been, why would the club go out and try to buy Kurzawa? For me, we have Kolasinac, we have Saka, and we have Tierney to come back in a few short weeks.
And who do you guys think is ahead in the pecking order? Is it Tierney or Kolasinac?
Tierney, when he's fit and ready to go in the team, he's going to be in the team.
Well, Ben thinks it's Kolasinac.
Okay, why? He's proved it. He's proved it. Thierry is a future prospect.
Yeah.
So at this point, picking Kolasinac below Thierry, you're not being fair. The guy who has been here is Kolasinac. So I look at Thierry and I see he needs more games and real good challenge for us to make a good assessment.
Right.
On what it's going to be.
So for you,
but
Ben,
generally, yes.
For you, Ben, when they're both fit, you're having Kolasinac in the team.
Yes.
I'm going with Tierney when they're both fit. He's just a better player for me. Defensively and going forward, I think he can do it both ways.
I would want to have more games with Tierney to have the confidence
to say
that he outranks Kolasinac. I think he's not been around long enough to relegate Kolasinac to second.
Okay, Mahir, jump in.
What do I think? Let me rub my hands together.
All right, let's get through the comments before you start. Stan says Tierney has the edge because he can actually defend and cross the balls. And you know what?
Exactly.
We're all mates. We're all friends here. We're all having a discussion, a respectful discussion. That's what this channel is all about, Ben. Kolasinac still struggles to cross the ball when he gets forward. Kolasinac is more of a wing back from Tony, and Tierney is a fullback. So yeah, they do play slightly different as well. Mahir, you're ready. Go.
Oh, thank you. Why didn't you get a chance? You guys do know I love Tierney. Tierney is our first choice. Tierney is going to be our future first choice. And when he comes back to full fitness, he's my full choice. I love, Ben, what you're saying about Kolasinac. I mean, he does need to. I doubt he'd be able to knock Tierney off his place unless Tierney is like right now injured and we don't have any other left backs. But personally, Tierney over Kolasinac all day long. I would go even as far as putting Saka as second choice, left back, rather than putting Kolasinac. Kolasinac can go forward, not a problem, attacking threat. He can't cross the ball, and his defensive duties leaves us so many times vulnerable. How many games has he had, right, Ben, where you've personally said, wow, wow, that was amazing. How many games?
I hear you, but what I'm just saying is that in terms of how many games Tierney has played in EPL, I don't think it's fair
He hasn't had a
to
lot
give
of games.
him
Yeah.
to give him the first rating. I don't think so. That guy has not been tested properly.
Yeah.
And in any case, anytime he was tested, he gave away a penalty.
Yeah.
So
And,
we need to be careful here. We
Yeah.
could be excited because we've spent money. He's a new guy, yes, but I think sticking with what we have because it's working, it's not been a disaster with Kolasinac. It's not been.
yeah.
In fact, a lot of teams fear attacking that side of his play because they know he's coming. You know,
Yeah.
because of his speed and power, they have to wait. They don't attack us on that side. So he
You
could
are
have one or two issues in terms of personal skill, but in terms of a powerhouse, he is a powerhouse.
I get what you're saying, Ben. Exactly. What's happening is Arteta is going to play the players that are playing well, performing well, and yes, Kolasinac has been doing that for Arteta. Under Tierney, he hasn't actually played. Tierney hasn't actually played for Arteta land. So competition. That's what we need. Competition in the squad, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I think the fact here is Kolasinac is better in a back five and Tien is better in a back four.
Yeah, yeah. And that's exactly what Tony was saying. Kolasinac is more of a wing back, and Tierney is your fullback. That's gonna. And I hope we will have opportunity to use both players through the season. Mahir.
Glenn, who do you prefer? Tierney, Kolasinac? Or who do you
I'd
think is the
prefer
better defender?
in this formation I'd have Tierney because of defensive duties, but I normally prefer back five myself, so I'd go for a back five and Kolasinac, just to allow Kolasinac and Bellerin to bomb for.
So is that just in terms of even in general, you'd prefer Kolasinac over Tierney? In general.
So in general, I haven't seen much of Tierney. Okay, so in general, the combination of defense, attacking, I'd go for Tierney, of course.
Okay.
For that combination, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stan the Man said Saka is only cover, plays much better as a winger for me. And yeah, I think Stan that Saka has done very well as a left back, and he's also done as well as a winger. He's a player that I'm sort of having a lot of hope for this season. Most jocks I know rate Tierney ahead of Robertson as the Scottish left back. So that's high praise indeed. Stan the Man, Tony Turner says Saka could be left wing and Martinelli striker next season. That's very true. And also maybe Lamar as well. Do you think Lamar is coming in because Saka has done so well as left back, Glenn?
Why Lamar is coming in, no?
Well, it's strongly rumored that he may be coming. He's not signed and sealed yet.
I don't think we need him. Lamar is someone I don't think we need.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with that. I do not think we need Lamar. We have enough players.
Our focus should be on defense and the central midfield.
Yeah.
So Ben is asking, how do you compare Saka and Martinelli on the left wing?
Oh, how do I compare Saka and Martinelli on the left wing? Are you ready for a big question, Hopes?
Hi, good evening. Sorry I'm late. Thank you for having me this evening.
Not at all. You're fine. So meet Glenn, all the way from Kenya.
Ken, Jumbo,
Hi,
Jumbo,
Jumbo.
habari yako?
Glenn and Ben is beside him as well, so they've been keeping things moving along very nicely.
Jumbo.
So the question is, Hopes, how do you compare Martinelli and Saka on the left wing?
How do you compare Martinelli and Saka? What, against each other in that position?
And Stan said, "Here comes trouble."
Hey Stan, what's up? What, in the left back position or
Left wing?
on the left wing?
Yeah.
Oh no way, man. It's
No, how
chalk
would
and
you
cheese.
just compare the two of them? Pros and cons.
Pros, okay, Martinelli has more energy. He has more insight into running into the centre of the box, like he scored his goal against Sheffield United. More energetic. He won't just stick to the left. He'll come in central as well. Martinelli, this is running back. He's just as good. I would say he's got if not the similar or same final ball coming in across from the left wing. I think Martinelli overall is more accomplished. Saka, they've both got pace. Saka's got pace. He's got the final ball. I would say he's got a better cross than Martinelli, but Martinelli's not about that cross. However, Saka is too fragile. He'll get taken off the ball a lot easier, I believe, because of his body frame. Whereas Martinelli, in my opinion, growing up playing with men in the Brazilian league, he's got a bit more prowess around him. So I think overall, Martinelli has got a bit better tactical management.
Glenn, that's great camera placement. Thanks. So we got Ben and Glenn in the shot both. Have we got any more topics to talk about in the first 7 games? Hopes, did you want to cover that a little bit, or Mahir? Just generally, before we move on to the FA Cup?
Say that again, sorry?
Anything you want to talk about in the first 7 games under Arteta that you've noticed?
Go ahead, Gundit News.
Mahir?
No, I'd like to hear from you first.
The first 7 games for me has been positive, upbeat, vibrant, determined, compassion. Played with pride. The players have played for the badge. Mikel Arteta has followed through with everything he's spoken to the press about. He's been realistic. He's got the fans on his side. He's got a tune from Ozil. Consistent team. Just due to injuries or suspensions, he's had to make a change here or there. In the first 7 games of Mikel Arteta, I see a style of play now, a philosophy of play that we haven't had under Unai Emery ever, and that we were losing under Wenger. Again, with under Mikel Arteta, I see a man who is not afraid to make changes, or he is not afraid to wait, like we saw in the last game against Chelsea when he didn't just panic and bring on Rob Holding for Ozil.
Yeah, that was excellent.
I think also Mikel Arteta, although he's trained under the best with Pep and he's had some guidance from Arsene Wenger, he's keen on implementing his own way. He's not trying to be a junior Pep or a junior Wenger. He's got the same similarities in that free-flowing attacking football, but he's very disciplined and he's hard-working. So very, very hopeful and very optimistic based on the last 7 games. I'm very grateful. Thankfully, he's silenced the fans, the non-believers or the people on the fence.
Yeah. Mahir. I'll go to Mahir first, then Ben and Glenn. Take that question from Charlie. How do you guys feel about the new centre back we have almost signed? He's almost signed and sealed.
Okay. He goes by the name Pablo Mari.
Yep.
He's 23 or 24. He's from
26.
Flamengo.
Yep.
That was his current club. We don't know much about him. Like I said, it could be another gem. It could be another risk that we're taking. It's something like 6 million, 7 million, if I'm not mistaken. Very
Yep.
low fee.
Yep.
So we'll have to see whether the risk is going to outweigh the advantages of having him, or because we've never seen. I mean, Hopes. Maybe you can tell us more. Maybe do you know a little bit about this centre back we're buying?
As far as I have seen, and I read between the lines, I need to go one step before this. Stick with me here. In Mikel Arteta's previous 2 or 3 press interviews, Mikel Arteta said, "I'm looking for the right kind of player. I'm not looking for any player." Then Pablo Mari comes on the scene. The things I've seen about or heard about, which you guys probably have as well, the panel here, about Pablo Mari, is that he has one skill that a lot of centre-backs in the Premiership don't have. He's a ball-playing centre-back. He can play out the back really quickly or slow. And that's why Mikel Arteta is pursuing him. Let's not forget, he was with Man City on and off since 2016. Although he spent the season on loan, Mikel would have got a little bit of time under it. He'd seen him. Do you know what I mean? Like in and around.
He knows him.
I've heard that Pablo, he doesn't have pace, so he's not going to be making the run. However, he reads the game really well. Great vision. He scores headers. He can play short or long. Apparently, he's a natural leader. The fans of Flamengo believe, this is according to my research, that he led them to the title and their national cup. That I will not even attempt to say.
The Copa Libertadores.
That's the one. Apparently, they put it down to him. The Flamengo fans also said that he gave them stability and leadership at the back. And I'm not sure if this is right, but apparently he was voted as the best centre-back in Brazil and South America. So what I'd like to that's what I know about him, and to me it fits with this whole Mikel Arteta. We're looking for the right player, ball-playing midfield, centre-back. That even if, because Luis is getting on, maybe one more season left, if anything. So why not bring him in now and get him to start playing, and then when Saliba comes, there's some sort of partnership. Now this can go really good, or it can go really bad. We won't know until he comes. However, if you look at, I thought about this. If you look at Arsenal's South American players that we've ever had in the last 20 or 30 years, I personally struggle to find one flop that we found in South America. That's a big statement. Hopes he's putting his neck on the line live on YouTube, guys. Take you off, Tina Turner. But yeah, no, he's apparently he's a
I see
leader.
Brian and Ben are conferring there.
I can find one for you. Santos is one.
Santos. Okay.
So Hopes you'd say the Murray is more of a Arteta signing.
I believe he's had a say into it because, Mikel Arteta was at Man City when Mari was there on and off for maybe a month here or a month there, but he's seen enough in him to say, yeah, let's go out and get him. And therefore, the price, this guy is just worth like peanuts in today's market, but it's not about the price. It's, what he can bring. And maybe he may need a bit of time to settle. I guess a better statement would be we've had more successful South American players than less successful.
Yeah. Good clarification, Hopes. You
Thank
took
you.
your head out of the noose right there.
And a lot of the information that I've given you about he's a leader and that he led them to the title and like the Flamingo to the title and voted as best centre back. That's come from various different sources, and you haven't heard that anywhere in any of the YouTube sites, I believe.
No. Let's go to Glenn and Ben. Pablo Marie.
So for me, at first, I didn't like the thought of signing an unknown defender because I'd prefer someone who's known in that position. Like, okay, not known, but someone who we've seen before, someone who knows how to defend, not someone who'll have trouble with the language, someone who'll have time settling in. But Ben was telling me that for a defender, as long as you can defend, you just come in and you defend straight in.
Yeah. Over to Ben.
I have a feeling I am trusting this combination of Edu and Arteta.
Yes.
I am actually liking it.
Yeah.
Because Martinelli is a product of Edu's shopping.
Yes.
Speaking from what Arteta said about getting a player who's going to add value to what he's trying to do, and the fact that Edu is also involved, I'm thinking we're in the right hands here. And the fact that Flamengo played Liverpool at the club championship, World Club Championship, and they only managed a 1-0, and this guy played 120 minutes. And when I tried to look back at the matches, he seemed to have played good. So I think we are in for another gem. I think so.
Very, very well played against Salah and Mane. Hopes.
Yeah, but that's a cup final. It's one game.
Sure.
It's neither here or there, is it? I mean, there've been many players who have played a fantastic game, and then they've just flopped. I'm just my opinion. I'm not.
Yeah. Stan said, and this is not a bad comparison because Mertesacker was a good player for us. Pablo is being described as Spanish per Mertesacker. Don't know whether that's a good thing or not, though.
Mertesacker was a good leader.
You see, that kind of goes. Stan's comment kind of goes against some of what I found out. In that, yes, he's tall. Yes, he's a defender. Yes, he's good in the air. But correct me if I'm a leader. But I don't think per Mertesacker fit the mold of playing the feeder like Luis does at the moment for us.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it falls out of Stan's statement.
But Per was a very good at managing the game, able to help us as his central defender alongside him, Glenn, in coming into a game. He was instrumental for me with Rob Holding in the 2017 Cup final.
Yeah, even with Koscielny before that, they were solid. But if Hopes is accurate about what he's saying about playing from the back, then that is what we need. We don't really have a defender who can play from the back. Socrates always makes mistakes with that. Mustafi doesn't know how to play from the back. We only have Luis, but really it hasn't worked since he came in.
We're not very good at that. But I was thinking earlier, and I don't know the answer to this question. Who was Pep Guardiola's first signing at Manchester City? And how did that get on? You know what I mean? It's early days in our revolution right now. 7 games in to Arteta. If anyone out there knows Pep Guardiola's first acquisition at City, I'd be interested to know that answer.
It could be Walker. He went for right backs and full backs before.
Walker. Yeah.
Either Walker or Mendy, one of them.
Yeah. Okay, so Hopes. London Old School. Don't know much about Mari, but physically looks strong enough for the Premier League. A very low risk buy. Let's not get hung up on the price tag, Hopes.
No, I mean, like Arsene Wenger, famous quote about Rob Holding. I'm sorry he didn't cost £50 million.
Yeah.
The Premier League is crazy with with prices, especially when a Premier League team purchases from another team. Kind of comes down when you look at, when you go into Europe, as long as you're not chasing like the massive names. I personally, a lot of Arsenal fans, especially local, I live close to, not too far, and I'm always in and out the Emirates. There's a misconception. He has to cost millions in order to be worth something. I'm glad he's not worth millions, so he doesn't come with that pressure from the start. Just look at Harry Maguire.
Richard from Arsenal TV and Alex from Cannon Fodder, thanks for joining us as well. For what I have seen of Pablo Mari, he's a decent player. I watched him against Liverpool in the World Cup, Club Cup, but let's not get carried away. That's pretty much what you were saying, Hopes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he comes in high with the Flamengo fans. They're unhappy that he's leaving because it's like us selling when Thierry Henry left, or someone who's led us to victories, and us selling that player, like when Wenger took apart the Invincibles team, and Ashley Cole went to Chelsea, and Fabregas went to Barcelona, and so on and so forth. It's that equivalent. So from the Flamingo fans don't need no convincing. Low or high price, who knows? But the good thing is he's 26 years old and he's coming in at a really low price. So hopefully there's the expectation isn't that great, a bit like Martinelli. And yeah, back to what Stan says, like his comparison with Per Mertesacker was all about pace. You're not getting pace with this guy, but what you are getting, he's a leader, and he can read the game, and he can find the passes, whether short or long.
So, Hobbs, Tony Turner's not letting you get away with coming in late. The Predator is silently stalking Hopes today, or helped him finish his foreplay, and they're best buds now.
But don't you think you get what you pay for? Because I know it's not all about the money, but someone like Van Dijk cost 75 million and is taking Liverpool to a title immediately.
I think football's a team game. It's not just one player. I believe that there have been many instances in the Premier League this season, this summer, who have come in with a high price tag, but they haven't done much. Look at Pulisic at Chelsea, Harry Maguire. Who else? Or even the season before that, look at Aubameyang for us. Look how much we pay Ozil. They haven't led us to anything. Money doesn't necessarily equal titles. And I'll tell you, like you said, Santos for Brazil, a team to blatantly break that rule were Leicester City when they won the Premiership. They signed Vardy for hundreds of thousands of pounds from a non-league team. They came in with Kante, Riyad Mahrez, Drinkwater, who Chelsea later bought for quite a lot of money just to sit on the bench. When he did come on, he didn't even make much of an impact. So I think in coming into the Premier League, there's an expectation. There has to be a lot of money spent. Look at us with Nicola Pepe. However, it's a team game. You can go out and spend millions, like Liverpool did on Van Dijk. And I remember Rio Ferdinand questioning that price tag. However, it's up to the player and the coach, the manager, so Jurgen Klopp, and the training team and all the other players that allow him to be that, to come into his own.
So Stan said Hopes, and then I'll go to you, Glenn and Ben. We need a defender who can make the defenders we have better. That's what Liverpool did with Virgil van Dijk. Do you think this signing, Hopes, can make our players better around him?
Well, let's see. That was one of their players. How many players did Liverpool purchase since Jurgen Klopp's come? And I'm talking about their defenders.
Most
right?
of them. Yeah. Reconstruct it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just because you found the one that breaks the mold, it doesn't mean much to me.
But also the keeper, don't forget Alisson, was also expensive.
Yep.
Exactly.
Robertson was a gem, yes. Alexander-Arnold was a gem, yes.
Yeah, Robertson was about £8 million or something, wasn't he?
Uh-huh. But the spine of the team, you need to pay money for the spine of the team.
Where do you, Glenn? Where do you see Mari coming? Is he going to slot into the team straight away, or do you think that the present defenders will stay until he can settle into the team and eventually oust one of those players?
Well, I'll let him settle in for this season. I'll stay with Socrates and Luis and the Mustafis, but for next season, I'd go with Mari and Saliba straight away.
Next season, yeah.
Ben said you have to start him now.
Ben wants to start him now, right? Instead of, who would you partner him with, Ben?
I'm looking at, but not that he's going to replace somebody immediately, but we have many games, and we must try him out and subject him to good enough pressure before we get to the next season. So we cannot go the Wenger way, where you buy a player and you go 10, 15 games before you try him out. Till the fans start crying for the player.
Yeah.
You buy the player because you're going to use it.
Yeah.
Look at what Inter Milan has done with Ashley Young. He played his game today. So if you've done good shopping, then he's going to fill a certain gap. So he should be subjected as soon as possible, so that we know the kind of devil or the angel we have.
Yeah.
This must happen quickly.
We all hope he's a devil, right?
Well, we don't. So the thing is, to a point where we have gone for shopping, we need to find a place to use him, and quickly.
Yeah.
In any case, we have so many games coming up. All right.
Yeah.
So for me, it is not a question of buying him and waiting for next season. No.
11 people in the chats. Thanks everyone for joining us. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
Sorry, can I just ask? Was it Ben?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think that Mikel Arteta, after what he said in the press conference, would buy a player not to play him, and someone who doesn't have something about him? Just a question.
Yeah, Ben has said that he wants to put him into the team ASAP.
Wenger also had the same statements. He said, I would go shopping because I want to cause a difference. The only thing is, he never was keen to start the player as soon as possible. So I hope Arteta will be different.
Yeah. You've got to get Mahir in here. What do you think, Mahir?
I personally think, yes, Pablo Mari is going to have some time to adapt into the Premier League. I think we should play him fairly straight away. Maybe give him a test run of few games, because we desperately need a centre back. What if this is part of, or if he's any good at all? He may be better than the defenders that we currently have available. And if you ask me, I personally think Arsenal, I hope I'll be praying that we're probably saving up for a big money move for a big defender in the summer. And this may just be temporary.
Yeah, I think
whether or not it turns out to be good.
I think all
I actually hope it turns out to be good.
As Richard said, Pablo Mari needs time to adapt to the Premier League, but let's not forget, it's a lone league, and that's what Richard's worried about.
And let us also not.
Are you guys talking about trying him out in the Premier League or the Europa League FA Cup games?
Yeah, that's directed to Mahir.
All. Put him in. You buy a player, put him in, like you guys just said.
All right. Well, We have an FA Cup game tomorrow. Hopes, did you want to say something before we get to the FA Cup?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, yeah, stick Murray in. Let's see what he's about. And I don't think Mikel Arteta will play him if he doesn't think he's good enough. I don't think Mikel Arteta would have bought him if he's not good enough. And let's not forget, Martinelli needed very little time. Alexis Sanchez needed very little time. Denilson needed very little time. Gilberto Silva needed very little time to crack on with the Premier League. And he's already been playing. He's been a first team player for Flamengo. So there's no reason why he shouldn't be playing. Stan said, I know Cannon Fodder said in the comments there I read, why didn't we just keep Mavropanos? And I think the answer to that question is because Mavropanos is not your ball playing central centre back. Like now we've lost Luis for 3 games. We're really going to miss the ball the way Mikel Arteta wants to play. Defence to midfield, midfield to attack. So defence to Ozil or defence to Torreira, and then they feed the wingers who then feed the attack. Now we're going to miss that. So it was like under Unai Emery, it was defence straight to attack, or defence like the fullbacks run straight up the wing and then expected to run back. So it's going to be interesting in the next 3 games to see who that responsibility falls on in the defence to feed Ozil and Torreira. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Troy, he's out of here. Thanks, Troy. Okay, so Hopes, pretty much you're saying let him go in there. Let's do it. And hey, this is what happens when our channel is expanding. We're going to get trolls in here. So Lola's out of here.
Good.
Glenn.
See you
Glenn.
later.
Bye-bye, Lola. You can watch now. Glenn and Ben. FA Cup. What does it mean to you guys?
Well, since I started supporting Arsenal, we hadn't won a trophy for like almost 10 years or something, but that was the first trophy we won, so it really means a lot. And it was also Wenger's last title, so it means a lot. And for tomorrow's game, I'd go for a strong team. I'd also first to avoid a replay, and second, I think we can win the FA Cup, so I'd go straight for first team Pepe, Martinelli, Lacazette, and mix it up with Martinez as the goalkeeper, and maybe bring Holding in, bring Niles in. I want Niles to play that game. So yeah, I'd start a strong team to make us go to the next round.
A strong team. Ben, what do you think, Ben?
Close to the same sentiments. The FA Cup is important, and going strong ensures that it gives the coach more, a good opportunity to continue studying the team. I think we need to go full squad and just go one leg and that's finished. No replay.
Yeah, we don't want replay. Yeah. Mahir at FA Cup. What do you want to do with it? A strong side out there, mix it up a little bit?
I don't even have to say anything more. Ben and Glenn just destroyed it for me.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Hopes, what would you like to see tomorrow versus Bournemouth?
I personally would like to see squad rotation. However, knowing Mikel Arteta, there will not be any squad rotation. If anything, he might put Ozil on the bench. But seeing Mikel Arteta, what he's done in his last 7 games, even against Leeds, I don't think he's going to have any plans to rest anyone, especially against the Bournemouth team, who are coming into this game off a 3-1 win, 3-1 win against Brighton. So he's up for it. He knows he's going away from home, and he needs his men out there.
I'd personally start Sabayas just to see the last of him before he goes, because I don't think we've seen enough. Ben doesn't agree. Thinks Sabayas isn't part of this team really, but I'd start him tomorrow.
Yeah, Ben, a lot like Tierney. He hasn't played enough games for you and played well enough in those games. I'm starting to read how Ben thinks, which is a good thing as well.
I think Ceballos would just disrupt the progress the team is making. In any case, we're not going to buy him. If we were to buy him, we should have shown interest already. So I think Ceballos should actually leave the team, go back to Madrid.
Okay.
Sorry, can I interject there quickly? Pep Guardiola's first signing was Ilkay Gundogan at £27 million from Dortmund. Just saying.
So not a bad signing. He's done quite well. He didn't really break into the team hopes in the first couple of years.
And now he's an integral part of the team, right? Well,
Yeah.
he got injured. He got injured, didn't he? That's
Yeah.
why. Remember, he was out for a year. Until then, he was flying high.
Shout out to Troy Jarvis for noting Lola Maria. Well, she's gone. Lola's gone here.
And no trolls in here. Not for our subscribers, not for special guests. They need to immediately vacate.
Okay, so
I go with the fact. Sorry. Whilst you gather your thoughts, Ray, that Ceballos should get a start. Let's bench Ozil. Give him a little bit of a break, and let's see. Like Stan saying that, Ben saying that. Let's see what Ceballos is about. If he's stopped running around in circles like a dog chasing his tail, and he's able to now supply the forward,
That's what you're saying about Ceballos. I personally would bring him, but he says no.
bring him in.
Sorry, Glenn was saying bring him in, but Ben was saying don't bring him in. Is that right?
Yeah. They're divided on that.
Like the way
All right, so let's get into the question and answers section. It's a new section we're bringing in here. Start with you, Mahir. This is a question from Lombard Camp. Hopes, I'll go to you first. Hi, Ray. Do you think Pablo Mari from Flamengo will improve our defense? Do you think we'll sign him? We've already touched on a little bit.
I think with the pictures of Edu. Sorry, were you going to me or were you going to Gundi?
No, sorry, Hopes. Sorry, I misunderstood. You go.
No, yeah, I think we've seen the photos of Edu and Pablo at the airport and Pablo coming in to Heathrow, so one can assume that he's already been signed. That's the second part of the question. The first part of the question, I think he's going to bring leadership, be our ball playing centre back, as I've already said all those things, and people are alluding to in the comments as well. Whether he's going to be a success, only time tells. Only time tells. Hopefully he is. Hopefully it's the start of something good, because that will stick another. It will. Said politely, it will hinder the Arsenal trolls, who expect us to, who don't want Mikel Arteta to succeed in some extent, to line their own pockets.
Mahir, do you think Pablo Mari from Flamengo will improve our defense? And do you think we're pretty much signed him?
Like Hope said, Arteta said in his press conferences, he's looking for the right type of player. So I don't think he would have bought just hurriedly panic, maybe like a panic buy, rushed and just bought any centre back simply because all the fans are moaning. And I just hope he's a success. And being a ball playing centre back is part of Arteta's style, which will help very much.
And Glenn.
Well, for me, I don't think he'll be a success immediately, but it's good to have some fresh blood in the team and some fresh spirit, because let's be honest, we don't really have good defenders. So it's really motivating to see someone new coming in, because Socrates, Luis hasn't worked, Mustafi hasn't worked, so it's good to have a new signing in the team.
Ben, do you agree?
I think I trust Arteta and Edu combination. I think it's going to work. And I think it's going to be signed. So I'm confident.
All right, cool. The next question from Tony Turner. Thanks. It's a bank of 3 or 4 questions. We'll start with the first one. Hopes, what's your centre back pairing for Monday?
Well, we're limited and we're restricted, aren't we? It's either Socrates and Holding or Mustafi and Holding. I would say Mustafi and Holding primarily because at the start of the season, the first few games they had, Mustafi looked more confident when Holding was there.
Mahir, your centre back pairing for tomorrow.
Going with exactly the same. Rob Holding and Mustafi.
All right, Glenn.
Let's not forget we have a good defender in Shaka. But I'll go for Socrates and Holding.
Emergency defender, Glenn.
Socrates and Holding.
When all else fails, go to Xhaka. Socrates and Holding. No Colonel Mustard for you.
No. I want him gone this window.
This window, we're moving on Mustafi. You heard it first. Might be a little bit more difficult than that. Ben, your centre back pairing for Monday.
Socrates Holding.
Socrates Holding. Very good. I would go with Socrates and Holding as well. Hopes, the second question. Do you buy Thomas Lamar if he's available for 33 million? That's also from Tony Turner.
Honestly, no. As is coming in the comments from Cannon Fodder, he speaks about we need a CDM, and I agree. Someone to pair with Torreira in the event Xhaka or even Torreira gets injured or suspended. So I would. So the immediate answer is no. I'd rather spend that money to bolster the centre midfield. As Ben was saying, we need that spine.
Mahir, Thomas Lamar.
No.
It smacks to me of like going out and get Pepe for 72 million when we need to defend to get players.
Exactly. Like Hope said, there's one player in mind. I would love you.
We can pass on Lamar. Glenn?
Passing Lamar by the Core.
All right, there we go. Yeah, spend that money there.
Or Fleck.
For me, 33 million is too much. If you're buying Pablo for 7 million, then we can get 4 good defenders with that money. So Lamar, no.
Yeah. Ben?
No Lamar. He has no role in Arsenal.
No role in Arsenal. All right. This is a good question from Tony Turner for Hope. How do Brits have fish and chips but not have hush puppies?
We want to share the calories. We'll take the fish and chips. You have the hush puppies.
Yeah. Say again, Glenn.
Between fish and chips and
hush puppies.
Fish and chips any day.
All right. Hope, stay with you. As discussed on this is from Alex on Cannon Fodder TV. As discussed on their channel, which player would you drop out of the rotation now? We have all these forwards. We have Martinelli, Aubameyang's going to come back, Pepe, Ozil, Lacazette. Who are you going to drop out of that lineup?
I wouldn't say drop. To avoid
rotate.
Rotate. The way my starting would be Ober on the left. Martinelli on the left, Ober in the middle, Pepe on the right, and Laka behind Ober, so he can hold the ball up. And Laka is also, as he's shown in the last several games, he's also box to box. And then you just use Ozil as you want. Some games Ozil can start ahead of Laka. Some games you can put Martinelli up front and Ober on the left. You can rotate the hell out of that.
Let me give you 4 players, and you're going to find 3 forward positions for them: Martinelli, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe.
And you want 3 of those 4 to play.
Yeah.
So I would say, I would not play Pepe. I'd play Martinelli on the right, Ober on the left, and Laka in the middle. Because primarily they can all interchange. I'd interchange Ober and Martinelli, and keep Laka out and out. But Laka and Ober can switch as well, so you can play it. It's not fixed. You can play this, and we were doing that against Sheffield United and the team, and against Crystal Palace, we did that as well.
Okay, Mahir, you've got 4 players, and you're picking 3 forwards: Martinelli, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe.
Exactly the same. You guys keep taking all my words away from me because
We're gonna have to start going to you first.
What I'm about to say, because the interchange with our 2 strikers and Martinelli and Ober can switch also because
So you're gonna keep Lacazette in the lineup.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree with the 2 of you. Lacazette is not scoring. I would give him a rest, rotate him out of the game, play Martinelli, Aubameyang, and Pepe together.
Okay, I'm gonna be devil's advocate. Who gives you more, Pepe or Laka? In any position.
Yeah, I mean you're right. That's a good point, but you can score a goal with Pepe, and we don't have goals coming from midfield.
Who can you score more goals with, Laka or Pepe?
Who's going to score more goals this season?
No, who can you? No, I mean in general.
Yeah, this season is in general.
Okay, in this season then.
Okay, this is a bet that's going to go to the end of the season.
Off the fence.
I'm going Pepe, and you're going Lacazette. We'll see what happens.
You think Pepe's going to outscore Laka?
Yes.
You're mad. You're mad. You're smoking some American stuff.
This is going to roll on. Hey, Glenn, you're the coach. You can play 3 players out of these 4 in your forwards: Martinelli, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe. Who's sitting on the bench for you?
If it's 3 from 4, then I'd start Lacazette, Aubameyang, and Martinelli, and Pepe would lose out.
Okay.
But before you
I liked what Hope said about Laka in the middle. Ozil would drop out of the team because Pepe, Martinelli, Lacazette, Aubameyang, that would be lethal. And you have the choice of playing Aubameyang on the left. You can play him on the right. You can start Martinelli on the left. In the middle, you can have Pepe in the middle on the right. So that would work out for me.
Who scores more goals for you, Pepe or Lacazette this season?
This season, I'd say Pepe.
All competitions.
All competitions, I'd say Pepe.
Okay. I was just curious.
He takes the free kick, he gets himself into.
We got a beat on here. Ben.
Pepe would lose out.
Who are you dropping out of those 4?
Pepe would lose out.
Okay. Do you think Pepe scores more than Laka this season?
Oh, it's not a thing. Statistics don't lie.
It's a statistic.
However, in the long run, I think Laka is going to come good.
Okay. So you think Laka is going to score more than Pepe?
Ultimately.
You can't use a definitive word like ultimately.
Ultimately.
Undoubtedly. All right, Mahir. Who scores more, Pepe or Lacazette?
Laka. The simple fact, Pepe's form right now isn't just quite right yet. He hasn't fully adapted.
So I've been digging a hole for myself, Hopes.
Yeah, so fine in the Premier League. Laka scored 5, Pepe scored 3. You know, the Premier League stats show, as Ben was saying, you know, let's go off the stats. Pepe scores a goal every 449 minutes, and Laka scores a goal every 239 minutes. They've had similar amount of shots, but Laka's been more clinical, even though he's not on form yet. Once Laka's firing, the whole game changes.
I'm screwed. That's what you're saying. I'm screwed.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you'll think of a forfeit by the end of the season.
Oh yeah.
Okay, on fire.
What did I do to myself? All right, let's catch up in the comments section here. We've got to catch up here. Okay, Tony does want to say that we are high on Mari. He thinks that he's for depth and would be a squad player. Only a replacement for Mavropanos.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I kind of think that he has to be better than three of our defenders. Hopes.
Well, the first question is, where's Tony? Like, why does Tony think that? And second question, back to Tony, is look how many games Mari's played so far for his own club, and look how many games Mavropanos has played for us. And why have we decided to send him out on loan, Mavropanos, to go out and get more experience?
Yeah.
If he was going to be like that, we would never have bought Mari. Mavropanos cannot do what Mari does, i.e., you know, be the ball playing centre back.
The Predator needs to eliminate Lola. Done. Glenn, you have to catch up on our podcast.
I need to, yeah.
Okay. Alex said he's been injured, Richard. Before that, he played brilliantly under Wenger before getting injured. I think that was Mavropanos. Let me catch up here. Here we go. Glenn, here's a question. Will anyone really miss David Luiz?
Oh, so from what he's shown so far, I wouldn't miss him. I think Holding and Socrates can do a better job than Luiz and Socrates or Luiz and Holding.
Okay. He had a pretty shaky start to his Arsenal career. Well, I actually think he's been one of our better players under Arteta, David Luiz. Now, he's always prone to that mistake, Hopes, right?
I think under Mikel Arteta, he's been very close to being man of the match, close to Torreira. I think we'll 100% miss him because of his ability to play the ball to Ozil or Torreira. We don't have anyone else who can do that. We saw Mustafi trying to do it the other night, and we saw what happened with that, didn't we? It's a no-brainer for me. We will 100% miss him unless Mikel Arteta gives that responsibility to someone else, i.e. Rob Holding. And Rob Holding can do that to a certain degree.
All right, Ben, going to give you a question, Ben. Where does Eddie Nketiah fit in this season? Would you not give him a start tomorrow?
Nketiah.
What did you say?
Would you possibly give Nketiah a start tomorrow if you were the coach?
I wouldn't. I have never been impressed by Nketiah. Never. Really. I think
he could develop as a very good striker.
Well, he looks sharp in the running, but not in the product. He may be doing that elsewhere, but not for Arsenal.
Well, can he do what? Okay, Aubameyang is the finished article, but can he be like an Aubameyang?
I have not seen that. I really have not seen that. I must be.
Yeah.
I have not seen that. I think we should have continued having him on loan for him to develop more. His sharpness in front of goal is still in doubt for me.
Yeah. He did quite well for Leeds, Hopes, on loan.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of what Ben says. He's got the energy, but now what we need from him is an end product, and that's why I believe that he needs more time to develop. So we should use him sparingly. I mean, he's only played he's only appeared once for us this season, so it's hard to say anything, you know. And that was only as a sub, I believe. The guy obviously has something. Otherwise, why would Mikel Arteta refuse to put him back out on loan in this January window when teams were coming in for him? There's something Mikel's seen, and at the moment, all I can do is trust Mikel because he's got everything else right so far. And just to tie that in with Stan's question of where does Eddie fit in, I think like a cameo role coming on last 20 minutes, you know, 20, 25 minutes, or even 30 minutes, depending on what our score is. And maybe he can bring out the Martinelli in him if it's there. The other night, if that was Eddie instead of Martinelli, do I think he would have scored the way Martinelli just did with such composure? I doubt it. I think it's that confidence thing, you know, because Eddie knows what it means to play for Arsenal. You know, he's grown up. He's growing up with the club, so there's that added pressure with him. Whereas Martinelli, he's got that. He's like a newborn baby. He's fearless. So yeah, I think he wouldn't. You know, Mikel's got a plan for it. Otherwise, he'd be back on loan, just like Emil Smith Rowe and some other players who went out on loan.
Glenn, would you rest Martinelli? The second part of Stan's question or comment.
No way. He's coming into form right now as he's gaining confidence, so I'd keep him going for the 2-3 games in a row.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Stan says there, sorry, Ray.
No
Eddie needs minutes to kick on. Yeah, but at the minute, Stan, we can't afford that because every time we're 1-0 up, we're still worried. So how can you give a player time when you cannot afford that luxury? Sure, if we're 3-0 up, take other players off, bring him on. But if we're 1-0 up and you bring on Eddie, right, that could easily go wrong. And then what does that do for Eddie's confidence? So it's got to be managed. It's got to be managed well. And I think Mikel will do it.
And right now it's Liverpool 2-2 with Shrewsbury going into the dying minutes.
Sorry, and can I just add to that comment? It's a bit like Phil Foden and Man City, right? They know he's good. The reporters, the press reporters, the media always press Pep about Foden, and he does. You know, he's made it in the team. He's played a number of games for them, and he's proved, his worth. And that's what Eddie needs to do.
Yeah, Richard from Arsenal TV, he is sort of saying what I believe as well. Rotate a little bit, but Arteta needs to go fully strong because we do have a 2-week break coming up after the next league game at Burnley as well. Where do you stand on Ceballos? Hopes.
Where do I stand on Ceballos? Every time I see Ceballos, I see a dog chasing his tail in the nicest possible way. I mean, I was at the Emirates, first game of the season, Arsenal Burnley, and what he brought, fantastic. He was wanting the ball. He's dropping back deep, feeding the wingers, feeding the attackers. Haven't seen much of him since then. Haven't seen much of what he can do in the final third of the pitch. Maybe that was because under Unai Emery, the way Unai Emery's style of football was. Hopefully, we'll see a new Dani Ceballos under Mikel Arteta, like we're seeing a new Guendouzi, like we're seeing a new Ainsley Maitland-Niles, like we're seeing a new Xhaka, a new Torreira, and a new Ozil. Hopefully, we'll see a new Ceballos. So it's interesting. I'd like to see what he can bring. Let him off. Let him loose. Cut the shackles and let's see, because if he doesn't bring it, then he's got to go.
Yeah. Glenn and Ben, where do you stand on Ceballos? I think Ben may have already mentioned this.
Well, Ceballos, I'd start him tomorrow because, as I've said, I haven't seen enough about him, enough from him, sorry. And Ozil hasn't really shown much to me. Hopes has just said Ozil has improved. I don't really see it. But Ceballos, I think you can give him 1 or 2 games, and then when the season ends, if he hasn't shown it, then you can send him back to Madrid.
Yeah. See, that surprises me, Ben. That surprises me because you're a man of stats. And Ozil's stats under Mikel, you don't think they've improved?
You know what? Yes, the stats are good in terms of him putting in a shift. He has worked very hard. But in terms of the effects on creating chances, he hasn't. That is not the Ozil we know. The Ozil we know is when he puts in a shift, the product is getting guys to score, or at least making the team look more dangerous.
Yeah.
The role of Ozil is to make the team look dangerous going forward. You know, so in terms of a team player working with the others, that has improved. But in terms of making us create more chances, Ozil has had no effect.
But then doesn't that nullify your point? Because for him to feed the attackers, he must have created more. No?
Yeah, it goes that way. That for you to really feed, you have to make the attackers look good. But that edge seems to have gone away for Ozil. That has gone, and you can see by about the 60th minute, he's laboring too much. He's laboring too much.
And then
Ozil, let me just finish. If Ozil was to be really lethal for Arsenal, you say you're going to play him for first half, 45 minutes, let us see 2 goals out of Ozil, in terms of creating very dangerous situations. But he's not doing it now. He's not. He's just looking like he's responding to a new coach.
Okay, I would say, in my opinion, Ozil is a luxury player. When we attack, since he's come under Mikel Arteta, I don't have an Ozil in or Ozil out agenda. All I can say is the way I see it. And under Mikel Arteta, when we've attacked, Ozil has upped his game. But unfortunately, when we went down to 10 men the other night, and even against Sheffield United and Crystal Palace, well, he created the goal when Luis Ozil, Laka, Aubameyang. I have seen more productivity. For me, the question is more about his consistency. How long can he keep this up for? And also, the question that stood. What was the question? Was it Lemar or Ceballos? Was that right?
Yeah.
Going back, you see, in one sense, forgive my French, it's a bullshit question, right? Because you're comparing a left winger to a central midfielder. So how do you know what I mean? It's like saying Martinelli or Torreira. You can't compare the two. They're two different players.
I hear you. And if I could just jump in there, literally, when you look at the whole, the fans are desperate. The fans are looking at Ozil being what he was for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to throw things here and there. The solution here is get a formidable number 10. This debate would end right there. To me, Ozil's time is up. Get somebody at last for the team who can do much more than what Ozil can be able to.
In some ways, we're still struggling under the old regime. That we're bound to his wages, his contract hopes.
Yeah, it's like this, Ben. It's like this. Imagine you had a Ferrari in your drive, okay, and you couldn't afford to upgrade to a better car than a Ferrari, or you wanted to buy an Aston Martin or whatever. I'm not saying
economical car,
right? I'm not saying Aston Martin's better or anything like that. I'm just saying, let's say you had a Ferrari and you were paying for it and you were maintaining it, but you wanted to upgrade on the car, but you could not afford to upgrade on the car. Are you going to stop driving your Ferrari?
It's a hopeless situation, man.
That's what I'm saying, mate.
Let's move on.
It's an endless debate about Ozil. I know Stan loves him. He's got pictures of him on his wall, apparently.
Yeah. London Old School, one of our first viewers, It creates a good comment here. Basically, I want to take out of this. Would you guys think about? I'll go to Glenn first. He hasn't had a word to speak in a few minutes. Glenn, would you think that we should start prioritizing between the Europa Cup and the FA Cup right now, or would you just keep going game by game? Every game's important.
Well, for me, the league is done. We can get the top four. Just
Mm-hmm.
players. But
Can
the
we get
Europa
a
League,
trophy? Can we go deep in the competition?
yes, we can. But the problem is there's Ajax, there's Inter Milan. So would we really win the cup with those teams there? So I just play my best players in both competitions. Just try and get the top four and try to win the Europa League at the same time. Don't prioritize one competition ahead of the other.
Hopes.
Well, it's like we say on this show, the players have still got PTSD, and it seems like the host of this show, Ray, has got a bit of the PTSD of the old regime as well. Under Arsene Wenger, we used to prioritise competitions, but this Mikel Arteta, every game he takes it
Every
on a
game.
game-to-game basis, and therefore I do not believe for 1 second he's going to put eggs in one basket. He's smart enough to
Yeah.
lay them thin
And
everywhere.
I love that attitude now. We don't have a big enough squad that we can rotate every game. Ben, what do you think about that question?
I think I would go with the attitude of Arteta. There's nothing he will leave to chance. He will go for anything. In any case, one thing he wants to do is to fully connect with the fans. And therefore, he will look like he wants to get anything, in his bag. So
Yeah.
he's going to push the players. That is, and therefore, the need for him to actually at least get 2 new players within the window, to just bolster the team. So I think we just go. We try it all. In any case, for the top four, the guys ahead of us are not very formidable. They look like they are shaky. So we could just.
All right, let's get through some comments and then we'll wrap it up pretty soon. Pablo A, thanks for coming in. I like the Arteta mentality. Every competition is important. Yes, I like that. Let's not prioritize at this point in time in the season. I think his attitude stand. He's talking about Ceballos.
Pablo, Ray's still catching up to the Arteta mentality. Bear with us.
I don't know what that means. Let Madrid recall Ceballos and bring in Lamar. Cam, her name was low. She was a slapper. Stan, I mean, that's close to the best comments so far, I think. Stan might win today. As a long-term Cam, I would have James Madison. Lamar hasn't been that great for Atletico Madrid, so what makes people think he'll be good for us? Do you think, Glenn, we're in the market for getting a James Madison?
We don't really need a James Madison, but if we had the chance to get James Madison, I'd go for him immediately. He's better than
but economically, it could be difficult. It could be difficult.
Yeah.
Hopes, James Madison?
No,
Yay or nay?
Grealish.
Really?
I like Grealish from the FA Cup final when Villa lost out to Fulham. I think it was about 2 seasons ago. And at that time, Spurs, Pochettino, he tried to go for Grealish, but the deal fell through. So Grealish is not just doing it in the Premiership this season; he's been doing it consistently. So definitely, I prefer Grealish. If we could afford Madsen and he came available, like Glenn said, yeah, let's go for him. But if I had a choice, I'd probably go for Grealish, not Madsen.
Okay.
Because sorry. And to substantiate that point, when Leicester played Man City, when Leicester played Liverpool, where were all these players? Where was Brendan Rodgers? All these Arsenal fans, get Brendan Rodgers in before Mikel Arteta came in. I'm digressing here, but where's the argument now when Leicester are sort of like flip-flopping? Because I always say, Brendan Rodgers hasn't been tested yet. He's overachieving. Big fish, small pond.
Yeah. Hey, Ben, take this question. Torreira needs help in the midfield. We need a CDM. Who would you go and get?
Wow.
I'll give you a moment to confer.
Getting injured for Leicester.
Indeed.
Indeedy.
Didi.
All right. I'd go for Decorah if we could get him.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd go for Fleck. He might be cheaper.
Like, yeah.
No
You're
shot.
sweet on ever since that strike. You're sweet on him. You justified him having a sweet strike.
No, even before his stats, even before that shot, his stats stack up. I would
I'm
say.
gonna start calling you Stato.
I'm like Glenn. No, Ben. Sorry, I go with the stats.
Yeah. Alex said, shame, I like Ceballos, but like I've always said, players should not be chosen on reputation but current form. And he's saying Ozil out. Harry Robinson, you've missed quite a bit, brother, but you can always watch it on playback. Holding and Mustafi, to be fair, we need to show Mustafi would be a good buy for other clubs. So I think that's what Pablo would continue to play Mustafi. He's been playing in the team hopes, and we haven't had a suitor for him. Very
Sorry,
much.
I was a million miles away there. Sorry, who are you talking about?
That's okay.
Okay, cool.
Pablo has gone for Holding and Mustafi for tomorrow. We need to show him Mustafi or Colonel Mustard would be a good buy for other clubs.
yeah.
He wouldn't show this though. I mean, he'd make a mistake. He'd find a way to make a mistake again tomorrow.
Yeah, he's just going over the sake of it. But
It's almost like we have to play Martinelli to offset what Mustafi's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, but at least you know what, with Colonel Mustard, he said on numerous occasions, I know when anything goes wrong, I'm the first one to blame. At least he's taking that on board,
Yeah.
He's not doing a Xhaka and doing this to everyone. Which way, this way?
London Old School says give Lacazette a rest. I think he's on my team. Thank you, London Old School. He's probably not saying that Pepe can score more goals than Lacazette, though.
No one's that silly. Are they?
Only this guy. Harry Robinson, I would play Lacazette at Cam, then Martinelli on the left, Alba, and then Pepe. So, do you think he's a culture? Glenn, do you think Lacazette could play central attacking midfield?
Definitely, since he's not scoring goals right now, and his hold-up play is so wonderful right now, that would be the perfect position for him, actually. And your previous show, I think it was the Chelsea Arsenal review, I had someone say we should play with one defensive midfielder and two in front of him, and then three up front. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Stan was sweet on that. Do you agree with that?
Well, yeah, for the purpose of having not being too predictable, but I think it'll also bring in Laka into the midfield. I think that power from within the midfield, we would be able to generate that, and still have everybody else involved.
Something like Wayne Rooney used to do in the latter part of his career.
There you go.
I mean, it's two separate questions for me. The first one from Glenn, shall we just play one ahead of our back four? For me, I think the modern game does not allow that because the wing backs push on. The fullbacks push on, which means that either a midfielder has to cover their fullback, or you're going to draw out your wingers to cover, which means you're one winger less when you attack. Therefore, I think the modern game dictates you need two central midfielders, and one of which can attack while the other one holds the fort. But then in defence, they're both there.
Okay.
Troy says keep the momentum, field a very strong squad, go for everything. And I tend to agree with that, Troy. I'm just going to flash some comments through to wrap this things up. There are a lot of people in the comment section. I probably did a bad job of catching up with everybody. Either we play Eddie or not, we still have to play Martinelli on the left flank because we have no one else to put there.
Had to be Martinelli ahead of Eddie.
If we don't play Ceballos tomorrow, we need to send them back to Madrid.
Yeah.
We haven't seen enough of him.
I don't know. I think I'm responsible for the swear jar. I've said the O word a few times.
Yeah,
I know Alex
put in for me
over.
as well, Ray. Put in for me as well, mate.
That's the Ozil. If you mention Ozil, you got to put some money in the jar.
Stan's not telling us about the Ozil photo he got for Christmas.
The guy already owns the jar, $60 in it. All right, so Stan is actually watching how many times we say Ozil. So you can say any other word line you want. The player who shall not be named.
Ozil.
Ozil, there you go. London School owes 10 as well. Ozil still not consistent enough. Not enough height. Still goes missing.
That is the biggest link that is missing.
That question about I saw someone saying that comment about Martinelli is the only person who can play there at left wing. When Kolasinac and Tierney come back, where does Saka fit in?
Oops. On the bench. Yeah. There's going to be scenarios where he's not going to be in the team. If you have a Tierney or a Kolasinac, if you're playing 3 or 4 at the back, Ben, I know you're sweet on Kolasinac, then Saka doesn't make it into the team if Martinelli's there and Aubameyang's there and Pepe's scoring all those goals, hopes.
Martinelli's ahead of Saka for me in at this moment. If we had a choice, Martinelli or Saka, and it wasn't in a left back position, it'd have to be Martinelli all day long. I don't even understand how anyone can question that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I hear you, and I feel that yes, there are going to be situations where Saka has to stay out, and there are going to be situations where Martinelli has to be rested too. So there are many games ahead of us. But the idea here is to have the players, in their best positions, and I trust Arteta to do that. So we should be happy that we have a headache, or such a magnitude. Yeah, we should be happy. Point. Yeah, so really not a problem.
I wish we had that same headache in defence and midfield, eh?
I agree with you.
We've gone out and gotten too many Ferraris, hopes. Pablo, good question. Does anyone know the rules after Brexit as to how many non-homegrown players you can have? Stato, you know that? You know that answer?
It's Premier League. It doesn't matter. Money talks. Money talks. You show them the money, they'll give you a visa, whatever you need,
Do you think they'll make it more difficult to bring players in? Hopes?
No.
Okay. Decore looks good. Partey time.
Fleck looked equally as good, Stan. Fleck.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
If you are the manager right now and you had the chance to sell 3 players right now this window, who would you sell? Oops.
Great question. 3 players. Oops.
I would sell Mustafi. I would sell Socrates. And El Neni.
El Neni, okay. How about
That's the easy one.
For El Neni, I think El Neni's case is too easy to pick.
That's an easy one.
He said 3. I'm giving you 3.
He's already out anyway. I would be bold. I would sell Ozil. I would sell Mustafi. And I would sell Socrates.
That is bold.
So we'd all keep Shaka.
So then the question comes: what are you going to do instead of Ozil?
So what?
What are you going to do instead of Ozil? Who's going to play there?
We have to buy. We have to buy.
No, but say if we couldn't buy, say if we didn't reinvest. This is Arsenal Football Club. They pay £1 a week. They don't pay up front.
All right. I would try to reorganize the attack and have Laka play behind the attackers.
Fair point.
Final thing. Predictions for tomorrow, Glenn.
I'm going for but I'm expecting Bournemouth to rest some players because their concentration is more on the Premier League and not getting relegated, and they have a crucial game against Aston Villa next week. So I'm expecting them to rest players, and if we go strong, I'm going for 3-1 Arsenal.
Ben.
I think we have a good defensive posture now with Arteta, so I'm going for 2-0 Arsenal.
Clean sheets are coming back to Arsenal. Good stuff.
Yeah.
He's
Oh.
brave. He's brave. Ben's very brave. 2-0.
With VAR, you're always hesitant to say a clean sheet, right?
With Mustafi in the back there. 2-0. Wow, he's brave. He's brave. I'm not taking the bet. 3-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, I think I would mirror it at 3-1. And it's pretty bold to say that we're going to score 3 goals as well, Hopes.
Okay.
With Martinelli, yeah.
Martinelli's got to start scoring 2s now and then hat tricks.
What about
I
Glenn?
really hope Lacazette can score though.
Question for Glenn. What's your starting lineup for tomorrow?
I actually just put up a preview on my channel. I normally do my predicted lineup, and I'll have Martinez in goal, Saka with third left back, Holding and Socrates, and I'll bring in Niles for Bellerin on the right. Xhaka would partner Guendouzi in the middle, and then Pepe on the right, Ceballos behind Lacazette and Martinelli on the left.
Who's up front?
Lacazette.
So you're putting Ainsley Maitland-Niles in instead of Bellerin, right?
Yeah,
and you'll
and then
put
Bellerin.
Guendouzi and Xhaka.
Yeah.
Right, and then you'll have Pepe, Laka, and Martinelli.
Yeah, and Ceballos behind Lacazette.
But you're missing one player.
Ceballos behind Lacazette.
With Ceballos. Okay, with Ceballos behind. Okay, right. Yeah, you see, I don't think that pairing of Xhaka and Guendouzi work. For me, I would probably put Xhaka and Willock in.
Mm-hmm.
I'd stick with the back four. I guess the back four is kind of picking itself to a certain extent with the injuries. But I'd put Willock in there for sure. I like Willock. He's box to box.
Well, Ben doesn't like Willock.
Yeah, no? A little bit about that, Hopes, and I kind of agree with what Ben's saying. He's that young player that looks around the dressing room and doesn't think that he fits in. For me,
true.
Hopes? I think he needs developing. He's only just broke in this season, you know. So how many games we played so far? 19, if that. And he hasn't played a lot of them. I think
about 23 in the league.
I think Willock just needs more time. I think he's got there's a player in him. There's definitely a player in him.
Mahir's jumped into the comment section. He had bad reception. Yeah. All right, I think we'll leave it there. Glenn, shout out your YouTube channel you just talked about.
I just started a channel back in November. It's called Glenn Kitely. I do previews on the game and reviews. I do player ratings after the game. I also do a prediction show with for the other games, and I do a fantasy tip show for the Fantasy Premier League managers. So yeah, I'm on 250 subscribers right now. I'm just trying to build this channel. Yeah,
250, so. Good stuff. Are you on YouTube?
Are you on YouTube?
Me, yeah, I'm on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. Great, good stuff. Check Glenn Kitely out on YouTube, folks. Glenn, thanks for joining me. today.
Thank you so much.
Ben, thank you for joining in as well. Really appreciate it. Gooners from Kenya, good stuff.
Yep.
Hopes, thanks for joining in.
Sorry I was late. Thanks for having me. And can I just say to Tina Turner before we go, that question about Ceballos or Lemar, I wasn't literally saying it was a bullshit question. It was the way I read it. So yeah, always happy to bolster the team. But yeah, no, thanks for having me. Thanks for the banter. And there's just one last question about rest Hector from Stan. Probably do half and half. Start with Hector actually for give him one half and then give Ainsley the second, depending on how we get on. Maybe we can kill it off in the first, just to keep that continuity.
I would go for that because Bellerin has been out for some time. He needs time. He needs games.
Yeah.
So I would give him the first.
Turner and Predator.
Simply the best. Simply the best.
Simply the best.
Thanks for having me, Ray. I hope to come back again soon.
We'll definitely do it again, Glenn. Thank you.
Nice meeting you, Hopes.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you. From Kenya.
All right.
Send us some heat. Send us some heat.
Okay.
All right, guys.
As Mayer said, shout out to everyone. Much love.
Bye-bye.
Here's to another win to Arsenal. Continue the momentum. I'm calling that 2-2 a win against Chelsea. That was a great result. Come on, you Gunners, up the Arsenal. Thanks, Hopes. Thanks, Glenn. Thanks, Ben. Until next time, we're out of here.
Thank you.
Red Army.
Red Army.